weather observation 1603 Zulu. Wind 360 at 14. Peak gusts 22. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 13 Celsius. Dew point 07 Celsius. Altimeter 3000. Remarks. Density altitude 0.
Welcome back, fellow aviators. My name's Matt Farrell, and I'm the flying salesman. We're taxiing out today, headed over to Jackson, Mississippi for a fuel stop. We're going to fuel up there, and then we're going to head down to Destin, Florida. Headed down there for the Florida Agricultural Aviation Applicator Show. Real quick trade show down there. I want you guys to come along with me and check that out. We're going to make a fuel stop in Jackson due to the weather that they have in Destin. The weather's supposed to be improving down there, but it's about 800 overcast right now. And what we're going to do is there's also a chance for some icing down that way. So the fuel stop in Jackson is just to add some fuel to what we've got on board. That way, if we get down there and we need to come back out of those icing conditions, and I'm not able to descend down, I'll have some options.
Just use caution.
Appreciate you guys coming along. It is Mardi Gras season, so got my Mardi Gras beads on. I hope y'all enjoy that. The thumbnail you'll see, got Mardi Gras beads in the thumbnail. Hope that caught your eye. I thought that'd be a little bit of fun. Me and the family went to a Mardi Gras parade this weekend. The little community that we live in, we have an awesome Mardi Gras parade. The locals come out with their tractors and classic cars and floats and all the kinds of stuff that they can think of that they think the kids will enjoy, that make a good parade. So they really did a great job. Thanks to the crew of Cotton, as it is called. Y'all did a great job. Appreciate y'all putting that on for us. I know my kids really enjoyed it. So I'm going to go through my pre-flight plan here, get this airplane squared away, and I'll talk to you back in here once we get going. All the engine instruments are in the green. Temperatures look good. Pressures look good. Cowl flaps open. Lock, cock, ready to rock. Downtown Tower Centurion 604 November's ready to go 32 at Alpha.
Centurion 6048 November, downtown tower, hold short of runway 32.
Hold short 32 for 8 November.
Centurion 48 November, turn left heading 310, runway 32, clear for takeoff, wind 350 at 10, gust 21, and use caution, men equipment operating up to but not on runway left side midfield.
All right, 4 November has the men and equipment in sight and maintain 310 on takeoff for 604 November. Clear for takeoff 32.
And 48 November, just confirm that's a turn left heading 310.
That's affirmative. Left to 310 for 604 November, clear for takeoff. Very adamant about that 10-degree heading change today. We will make sure we give them that. Pretty good winds today, almost right down the runway. Turbocharger takeoff, 30 inches manifold pressure. Let that turbo lag. That's it there. Roll it in, red line, red line. Got my wind correction tuned in there. Hold that center line. Positive brake, gears coming up. Accelerating. Go ahead and give them that turn 310. Flaps coming out.
Air 48 November, contact report departure, safe flight.
4 November's going to departure. Y'all have a good day. And power's coming back. That 310 in there. Report departure, Centurion 604 November's off at downtown. 800 climbing for 2,000. 310 on the nose.
Centurion 6048 November, report departure, radar contact 2 miles north of downtown, climb maintain 5,000, when able turn right direct to Jackson.
Alright, up to 5,000, turning right direct Jackson for 6048 November. Alright, we got that right turn direct Jackson. Up to 5,000. At 1,200 feet, winds are 35 knots already. Gonna be humming today. Probably gonna be a little bit bumpy. Direct 2,
November,
activate.
Contact approach 118.6.
Was that for 48 November?
Centurion 48 November, affirmative, contact approach 118.6.
118.6, 604 November. Shreveport departure, Centurion 6048 November, with you 1.8 climbing for 5,000.
Centurion 6048 November, Shreveport approach, good morning.
Gears up, flaps up, power set, propeller set, mixture set, cow flaps open, all engine instruments in the green. Strong crosswind today. Basically a 90-degree crosswind at 32 knots right now. Like I said, I want to keep an eye on that outside air temperature as we go down. Still 52 degrees, so looks like we're going to be in pretty good shape. They did say that down south the icing level could be as low as 4,000 feet this morning. I expect that to change as the temperature dew point spread starts to open up, but something I want to keep in, make sure I stay aware of. This airplane is not approved for flight into known icing. And that's what we're facing down there, so we got to make sure that we have our temperatures correct before we enter any IMC.
Direct 4B, vector visual approach, runway 32.
That gives me an opportunity to get to Jackson, get more fuel, and then also look at those temperature dew point spreads, make sure that I'm not going to have any issues getting in there. 40-knot crosswind right now.
Tough 2-1, heavy Shreveport departure, your radar contact, climb, maintain 12,000.
Fine-tune that prop a little bit.
Tough 2-1, heavy, say your altitude, I'm receiving your mode C now. Tough 2-1, heavy, roger, whenever we proceed direct text Arcana.
500 feet to go. Got that course centered up. 50 knot, almost a little bit of quartering crosswind now. A little bit on the nose at 50 knots. Ground speed's 130 knots, indicating 140 right now. 5,000, start leveling off. There is an air bet for moderate turbulence today. Gonna make sure we keep the airspeed down. I don't want to go blazing off into any moderate turbulence at 75% power. Looks like it's going to all be down below that cloud layer there, but I believe there's going to be an opportunity for some clear air turbulence today, so I want to make sure we stay on top of that. 51 knots. Outside winds today. Big wind correction angle. Go ahead and close those cow flaps.
Morning Shreveport, Bonanza 84 Alpha Kilo 6000 on Bravo.
Bonanza 84 Alpha Kilo, Shreveport approach, good morning, expect visual approach.
Expect visual 84 Alpha Kilo.
Alright, fellow aviators, level 5,000 feet, got the airplane configuration for cruise climb, got about 60% power in right now. Like I said, just trying to be judicious about any bumps that we may encounter along the way. Everything's smooth right now, feels really good. If you go back and watch some of my videos from 2023, I did a video called What's Next? And what that video is about is always ask yourself what's going to happen next in the airplane. So I've taken off out of Shreveport. I am an hour and 7 minutes from Jackson, Mississippi, so I got plenty of time to make sure that I'm ahead of the airplane. I'm going to have a couple of handoffs between here and Jackson, but I want to go ahead and make sure that I can do everything I can do ahead of time so I don't get behind the airplane or I'm waiting till the last minute to get something done. So I'm going to go ahead and go to airports on my iPad in ForeFlight, put in the identifier for Jackson, Mississippi, which is Kilo Juliet Alpha November. I know that their ATIS is 121.05. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the Garmin 430 and have that tuned up. And whenever I start to see the reception button, the receive button, or correction, the receive enunciator on the Garmin start flashing at me, I'll know that that ATIS is starting to come in. I'm also going to go over to info and weather. Right now they're 360 at 13 gusting to 20, so they're going to be landing to the north. Send that to the map, so it's over there waiting for me to get there. We got the ATIS, we got the approach control. The frequency for the ILS is 110.5. Go ahead and tune that in. 1105. Transfer. So now it's in my number one. I've got the localizer ILS tuned for Jackson. That changes, then I'll have to change it once I'm assigned which runway I'm going into. And at that point in time, most likely what I'll do is I'll use the visual approach function on the GTN 750 and use that for my lateral and vertical guidance. Everything looks good. All the instruments in the green. Power, props, fuel flow, everything's where it's supposed to be. Go back to my position on the maps. Now we're just waiting for our handoff. I expect that to be to Monroe approach. I don't believe I'll be high enough for them to hand me off to Memphis today. I'd get my transponder over to my flight timer. That'll help me keep track of my fuel. If you watched my last video, I talked to you about turbulence during blue skies, and that's what we got today. We got a big high pressure building in from the west, pushing a low pressure off to the east, and we're going to kind of be meeting where those two, the boundary of those two fronts, and liable to have some bumps along the way, even though we got blue skies.
126.32, safe flight.
Certainly expect to have those bumps down low. Going to have to make sure we watch our airspeed in descent. I'll use the probably 10 degrees of flaps and the gear down just to make sure we don't get going too fast. Got our mixture set for 100 degrees rich a peak. All my temps look good. Oil temperature is 176 degrees. 50 psi. Level 5,000 feet on course. Put a comment down below. Tell me how you fly your airplane. I know there's a lot of opinions out there for rich a peak, lean a peak. If you fly a fuel-injected engine, I'm especially interested to know. Tell me what kind of engine monitor you have. We have the Insight G1. It's what we're running in the 210 here. It's been a really good, reliable instrument for us, and really happy with it. I would like to upgrade one day to the 930, I believe it is. I think that's the all-encompassing power plant indicator that you can use for primary flight instruments. But we don't have a need for that. We do have the digital oil pressure, oil temp. I really like having that. It gives me a lot of confidence knowing what my temperatures and pressures are. Overall, the airplane's set up really, really nice. That's just a want, not a need, for sure. Minutes. On course, on track.
And Monroe approach 604 November, just checking, make sure the radio's still working.
Monroe 48 November, have you loud and clear, sir.
Thank you very much. 48 November.
November 48 November is going to be a slow 20 minutes going across your space, just you and I.
All right, sounds good. 48 November out.
Last week when I flew, if you watched that video, a lot of people flying, a lot of chatter on the radio. Today, nobody's flying. I think these winds have got everybody kind of scared. I don't blame them. 20-mile-an-hour winds down the runway is not a lot of fun unless you're in a heavier airplane that's capable of handling it. I talked to Colin at New Aviation. He said he was up doing some pattern work. He said it wasn't very comfortable, so they called it today and brought it back in, and I think they're going to wait and see if the winds die down this afternoon, do some more flying this afternoon. So that was my local PI rep for coming out of Shreveport, and I don't know if you guys noticed the bumps back there, but there were a few bumps along the way. Outside air temperature 49 degrees, so I think we're going to be in pretty good shape when we get down there to Destin. Looks like the ceilings are coming up down there. This was probably a unnecessary move on my part. May not have needed to take this extra precaution, but I always err on the side of safety. Like I said, make a fuel stop, have plenty of options when I get down there, and that way I don't get myself painted into a corner. Flying over my alma mater, Louisiana Tech University. If you're interested in becoming a pilot and being a professional pilot, I'd highly recommend Louisiana Tech University. They got a great program, a lot of airplanes, good flight instructors, and it's a fantastic place to go to school. So look into that. If any of you are wanting to get your license, I would highly encourage you to take a look at Louisiana Tech. Flying over the Ruston Airport right now. Looks like one of Louisiana Tech's airplanes taking off. And that's him right there on the iPad using ADS-B. Very nice tools to have in the cockpit to help you manage what's going on both inside and outside. 22 minutes from Jackson.
Contact approach channel 19.
Starting to get that ADS tuned in. See if we can pick it up.
Set of service. The passengers contact you, Charlie.
Charlie.
Ocean 130, contact approach channel 19er.
Text information, Charlie, 1654 Zulu, wind 020 at 14, weather better than 5005, temperature 13, 2.7, altimeter 2985. Alpha arrivals, expect visual approach, landing and departing runway 34 right. As a steerman, runway 34 left closed, except touch and go aircraft and tender aircraft. Runway 34 right, happy high intensity, out of service. Taxiway Bravo between 16 right, Bravo 4 closed. Taxiway Alpha between Alpha 1 and Alpha 4 closed. Taxiways Alpha 1, Alpha 2, Alpha 3, Bravo 1, Bravo 2, Bravo 3, and Charlie 6 closed. Runway 34 left there, so lights out of service. The passengers contact you, Charlie.
13.07.
Alright, information Charlie.
Yeah, 3926.
We're going to go to Jackson Tower 120.9.
Envoy 3926, 133.07.
3307, Envoy 3926.
Going to be 34 right.
5994 Memphis Center, climb and maintain flight level 190.
Put in the RNAV, GPS 34 right.
And who else called?
Send the map. Alright.
Memphis, good morning.
Got the right approach plate up.
For 6,000.
I knew that there was a NOTAM for the west runway, but looks like they got it. They're just doing touch and goes on it now. But that's good because that puts us closer to the FBO anyway. We won't have to taxi all the way around the airport.
And who else had a request?
984, I'd like to request a stop at 10 for a little while until I get close to the mouth.
Number 984, Mendel to maintain 10,000 and just advise when you're ready for hire.
Alright, 10,000 for 984 and we'll advise there.
Morning, Memphis 88 Charlie Sierra 7.5 and 10,000.
Carp 166 cleared random recovery.
If anyone knows what that means, cleared random recovery,
88 Charlie Sierra climbing through 8,000.
I'd like to know what that means. That's not terminology I'm familiar with.
Sierra Memphis Center, Roger, climb and maintain flight level 230.
Climb maintain flight level 230, hey Charlie Sierra.
Carp 112 cleared random recovery, altimeter 2982.
Hawker J Delta Alpha, fly heading 210.
About 12 minutes out, I'm starting to ease that power back. Make sure we don't shock cool the engine, cool things down real slow. Pulling it back about 1 inch a minute. Like I said, I'm gonna slow it down, put the flaps out, and then I'll put the gear out to help my descent. Gonna need to start that descent in about 2 minutes. Like I said, I expect it to be kind of bumpy down low. Still got 51 knots on about a 70-degree crosswind. Take that autopilot off.
Number 500 Charlie Bravo, contact Memphis Center on 132.5. There's 0 Delta Alpha, descend and maintain 2,000 to range 250.
2,000, 250 on the heading, 0 Delta.
Are you on the visual or were you looking for the RNAV?
No, he put us on 210 heading, we got the field set.
Perfect, 0 Delta Alpha, clear visual, approach 34 right.
Clear to visual, 34 right, 0 Delta.
Thank
Destination ATIS is 121.05.
you, Gladys.
November 48, November flighting at 120 vector sequence.
120 and 3,000 feet for 604 in November.
There's the bumps. We knew they'd be down here, and that's why I didn't come tearing in here at cruise speed. I knew it was bumpy coming out of Shreveport once I got below this cloud layer. Same thing over here in Jackson. Still got a 51 knot crosswind, so the winds are ripping up here pretty good. We're going to keep easing it down. We've got 500 to go to 3,000. Heading 110. Good news is once we get down lower, the winds are right down the runway. I imagine they're going to be gusting pretty good, though.
40 November, you can turn down left, heading 090, and I'll have your clearance here momentarily as soon as you get clear of the antennas.
Left 090 for 604 in November 3,000.
300 to go.
All right, looking for clearance, what was that? 7.
200 to go.
48 November, clear visual approach, runway 34 right.
Cleared for the visual 34 right, 48 November, thanks.
Okay, velocity 767.
Kick that autopilot off.
Hold for release, clear to the
11 miles from the airport.
Airport as filed. Maintain 5,000. Departure frequency
3,000 feet. Just keep it coming down nice and slow.
November 48 November. Contact tower 120.9. Good day.
4 November's going to tower. Good day.
Get that taxi light on because we're cleared for the visual. Switch over to tower. Jackson Tower, Centurion 604 November's on the visual 34 right.
Centurion 6048 November, Jackson Tower, runway 34 right, clear to land, wind at 010 at 14, gust 18.
Clear to land 34 right, 48 November. Got that landing light on because we're clear to land. 010, so a little bit of a right crosswind. The maximum demonstrated crosswind for this aircraft is 20 knots. I don't think we've ever discussed that in the airplane before. I don't think we've ever had a need. Today's not going to be much of a crosswind component, but it is going to be a little bit blustery. Got 10 degrees of flaps in now to help me with my descent, and I will land with 20 degrees of flaps. The FBO is kind of stationed, I don't know, just a little bit on the approach end on the 3-4 right side, but the rollout will be just about perfect to catch the taxiway and taxi back in. I've been in and out of this airport a number of times, so I'm very familiar with where the FBO is and taxiways and that sort of thing. So.
Blue Street 5102, contact departure, good day.
20 degree flat landing. Make sure we maintain positive control all the way down to touchdown. Ease it off, ease that power back, slow her down nice and smooth, and keep everything on the center line. That cockpit cam behind me, that'll be the one that'll tell the tale as to whether or not I maintain center line. We'll see how it does. Got the threshold in sight, 2,300 feet. Looking good. Cut my turn here a little bit. The wind doesn't blow me too much further out.
Upline 70 Lima, traffic on about a 6-mile left base, runway 34 right is a Centurion at 2,000.
Clear Lima looking.
Centurion 48 November, traffic 3 miles east of the field is a Cessna 172 westbound. They're going to be maneuvering just east of the field, 1,500.
40 November's looking for the traffic. You said they're 1 mile east of the field?
Yeah, they're going to be just east of the field.
40 November, roger. If they're east of the field, I'm going to expect them to do their job. Nice bumps down low today. Easing that power back a little bit, slowing her down. Showing about 125 knots. Showing about 125 knots indicated airspeed, so don't want to get it too slow, but we are going to have to transition to final approach here pretty soon, so. Everything's looking good. For those of you that like the numbers, I'm at 20 inches of manifold pressure, at about 400 feet per minute descent, 120 knots indicated. Nice stabilized approach. Got my hand down here on my right hand is right here on the trim wheel, and so that's how I fly my approaches with my hands right there on that trim wheel, so I can adjust my approach I'll make a power change, and then I'll trim to adjust and make sure I have a nice, stabilized approach.
You continue northbound from there.
Hey, firm, we're going to make our turn now, kind of northeastbound.
Just above that glide path, for 3-4 right.
Cheering 48 November, traffic no factor.
4 November, Roger. I see him out there maneuvering by the lake. A little bit high. Actually, we're just looking really good on that glide path. So 1,000 to go. We're going to start easing that prop in. Pull that power back a little bit more. There's 15 inches of power. 15 inches of manifold pressure.
Currently on Charlie, can I report back on 16 left 34 right, or you got some more traffic?
Oh.
Got it, I'm hold short. I'm pull back to Charlie 2 and just hold short.
There's 115 knots. We're going to slow it down a little bit more. Get that 20 degrees flaps in.
500.
Thank you, Gladys. I don't know if you can see the bumps in the camera or not, but things are a little unstable down low, so we want to make sure we maintain positive control in case there's any wind shear or anything. Right now, sitting right at 100 knots. I like that. I think that's just about perfect. You guys know I like to transition about 80 knots coming over the number, so I think we're sitting right where we want to be. Got 2 whites, 2 reds. That's looking good. Coming up on the center line. Right on 100 knots. Got a little bit of a sink going. I'm going to pull the nose up. Instead of catching that with power, there's 90 knots. That's exactly where I want to be. Got a little bit of ground sink going. Just allowed that, trade my airspeed for altitude, arrest that descent. Keep it coming in. All right, gas, undercarriage, mixture, props, seat belts, shoulder harnesses, cow flaps. Everything's looking good. Transition to that 80 knots. Power's out. Fly it right down to the runway. Come on, baby. Wanted to keep flying today. We're going to
48 November, left turn at the reverse high speed, Charlie 3, taxi to park, Charlie 5, good day.
All right, Charlie 3, Charlie 5 to park for 48 November. We're going to jump out and get some fuel, and then we'll jump back in and head down to Destin. Y'all stand by for more.